All right, here's some things to do with the H1 tab on Screaming Frog. So if you go to Screaming Frog, you scan your site, land on the H1 tab right here. You see up here there's a filter. So there's 4 drop downs. Go over each one of them real quick. Missing H1s. This is a pretty important tab depending on the pages. Every page should have an H1. An H1's the most important words on the page. It's usually the topic. It's the keyword that you're focused on. It's human readable, but it's really important part of the page. So if a page doesn't have an H1, it needs to have one. So you take some of these pages, click them, open them up, figure out why there's no H1 on the page, add one if you can. I know on a lot of our sites with Gutenberg and WordPress, you can sometimes need to add in an H1 to the top of the page. So I'll show you that in a second on another one of these. Duplicate, this is kind of a bigger issue. This one means there are multiple H1s on a page that have the same thing on multiple pages. Basically, you're telling Google, this page is most important on my whole website because it's about products. But, oh yeah, there's 10 other pages that have the word products on it too. That just devalues the power of that H1 across all the pages, and Google doesn't know which page to actually rank you for, so that's a problem. The issue here is this is not easily solved. Usually you have to solve this with code inside the site. So if we go to one of these, the way you would do it is you would change the H1, which is a pulled in word, from having this and only this to including the page number that it's referencing. So this would be products page 6, and then the original page would be just products, so that Google would know this is the most important one and the rest of them are appendages of it. So that's how that would work out for the duplicate ones. Over 70 characters is an easy one to change. So if there's any one that are too long, that means it's just too many words to stuff into an H1. You would open up this tab, hit edit product here, and basically what we're talking about on a WooCommerce page is the H1 is usually this word right here. So you would try to shrink this down if possible. On other pages, it may be nested into a sub box in a Gutenberg box. So you have to kind of check all those out. Shorten it up, try to get it under 70 characters. That's how you handle the over 70 character ones. Multiple is another issue, so you don't want to have it more than one because again, with an H1 being the most important thing on the page, if there's two H1s on a page, then now you're confusing Google and they don't know which thing is most important. So you go to one of those pages. By the way, I'm copying the link, Command C or Control C, and then just pasting it into a new tab. Okay, so now you have here, this is usually the H1. You can check that by right-clicking and clicking Inspect H1. So somewhere else on this page, there's another H1, and if you scan, sometimes you can see it, but sometimes it's not even obvious, like it's not on this page. So you would do a search down here in the bottom. I use Command F or Control F in the browser here. That opens up this. I'm going to type H1 in here and see if anything else jumps out. Okay, boom, there's those two. And here's another empty H1 tag on top of this image. You can see it right there. When you hover empty H1 tag, we got to get rid of that. So I'm going to edit the page. I'm going to look on top of that picture. Close that down. Find that picture. Here's that picture. And if possible, I'm going to, there it is, take that title H1 out, update it. Now I'll go back to here. It's going to be different on every site. That button's not necessarily there. That just happened to be how it's fixed on this page. Now if we do inspect, and we Command F down here in the browser, and we do H1, there's the original one up top. And now we have, see this is different because now it's a div, it's no longer an H1 tag. So now it's a div of H1, which makes it look like an H1 in Bootstrap. So we're good. There's only one H1 tag, and it's located in the proper spot at the top of the page. One more important thing about H1s that I'm noticing while I'm here, whenever possible, you should not use title or all caps in the actual wording. And the way I know this is all caps is because it shows up here. All caps should be a styling approach, not a typed approach. So the better way to handle this would be something like this. So if we came in here, we use Bootstrap a lot on our website, so this would be the way to fix it. There's other ways. I would, with their name, it's extra tricky, but So it still works. It's a little messy, it's a little ugly. Don't love it. I especially don't like it because it's in the title. If you do that change, you need to make sure down here your snippet doesn't actually include that change, so that looks right. That's the way you want it to show up on Google. That's the way it should show up. So that's what you do to fix that all caps situation. Don't type it all caps. Do it the other way. That's it.